Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Talk Automotive. This is episode 48, and in tonight's show we have the latest and breaking automotive news. We review a very interesting electric motorcycle, the Enegrica, the Eva, and the Ego. And our guest tonight is Heine Diete Engelbrecht from ADA.
Can't wait. And then we're going to obviously have game time where I'm going to get slaughtered again tonight. And we have another segment in How Things Work, which is brought to you by Suzuki Auto South Africa. And then my favorite part of the evening, Tappet of the Week.
And we've got a goodie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Let's Talk Automotive. Joining us tonight for the news segment is Cheyne. Thank you very much for joining us, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
I've got to say, for a motorcyclist, you've got a very cool surname, hey?
Listen, Peter, it's been a busy week.
It has. You guys have just come back from the BMW launch. You went to the 1250 GS upgrade and as well as the GS Adventure, and then the all-new, I suppose, 1250 RT.
That's correct. So that's why Brian's joining us. So I think let's get straight into this week's news. All right, Brian, speaking about riding motorcycles, we had a nice adventure down in the George area this week.
It was really fantastic. As I said afterwards, I really had to compliment BMW. They gave us some good routes to ride on. The GS routes were good GS road riding, and the RT also. It was good road riding, and the routes were very well planned, and we were on time for once.
So let me just tell you, Pete, it was spectacular. We've got some pictures of the routes that we went on. Off-road up Montague Pass, am I correct in saying that? Montague so we went off-road up Montague Pass.
Oh, look at that.
And all the way through the career into Oudtshoorn, just outside Oudtshoorn.
Yeah, just outside
my old army base.
Yeah, here we go.
Sure.
We had coffee at De Rust. But that road there is the old Muragi Road. And that's where we had
lunch and the swap over.
And swap over of bikes.
Then we took the RTs from there down
Outeniqua.
The
Robinson's Pass.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Amazing. I tell you, it was just the scenery. I just realized that I haven't seen half of the country. It was my first time down there. So yeah, it was unbelievable. But let's talk about the bikes. The bikes.
First of all, BMW launched the RT, but they thought that they reacquaint us with the GS.
All right.
The RT is the new model. It's now got the 1250 engine in with the shift cam technology. They've done a whole redesign of the aerodynamics of the front of the bike, and this is the last of the BMW models to get to step away from the analog dials and get a proper TFT.
And when they went TFT, they went not 7 or 6 inch, they went 10.25
inch.
Wow.
It's this massive screen. It's long, and the idea is that you have your dash, and then half of it could be a navigation or whatever. And then on the GS side, they've done, for both models, they've now got adaptive headlights. Mm-hmm. So when you go into the corner, it illuminates the inside of the corners. That's what they've done on there, and now the GS the RT had it all along, but the GS also now gets heated seats.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's one thing having heated grips, but I mean, heated seats, that's proper.
Especially in the area that we rode there. And then the GS has also now got a brand new, they've got brand new color schemes, and the one that I rode on was their 40 years of GS
That's the
model.
the black and yellow one.
The black and yellow one.
Pick that up. I must tell
That
you,
one.
Oh, look at that.
I must tell you the attention to detail on this bike, the mirrors, the engine covers, everything's milled aluminium.
Okay.
So Pete, that is just next level.
It actually looks the part. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you. I mean, there's obviously it's an evolution of the GS. But what are some of the standout features that are newsworthy? You've mentioned a couple. And I mean, we've only got a short time with you. So.
No. This is just a small model update. It's basically the same as the 2019 model, but they've done, like I said, model updates in terms of the colors, and they've added rider modes. They've even got an eco mode now for people that want to save petrol. And I can't imagine one GS rider ever putting that thing into eco mode. And the important one that they...
And by the way, if they do, they should be shot.
The important one that they did put in is now is they've got a USB port on the fairing, and they actually pointed that out.
Yeah.
That's how small the update is to the
Okay.
GS. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't fiddle with that recipe. So it was...
Okay, so the RT, when you look at the RT, if we can get that on the screen quickly again, my first impression of this bike, and I said it in my post the other day, is that it immediately feels like an old man's bike.
And then he immediately referenced me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you're 75.
Old man's bike. There we go. Thanks.
But let me tell you that I enjoyed every second on that bike. The smoothness of the power delivery, it was absolutely amazing.
Okay, so listen, I think you're fast becoming an old man in your own right. You just need to go look in the mirror.
Yes.
But what is the top speed of that RT, and what did you achieve?
No, the top speed's probably a lot more than what we did, but
Now, we only did 120.
I cannot,
Sure.
I cannot tell you what we did.
Because there was some rain showers there, and then if you maintain 120 k's an hour,
Yes.
literally, when you do 120 with the fairing up, you stay dry on
Wow.
that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, your
And that
health.
fairing's adjustable, eh?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is
Okay.
electrically adjustable, which is a good one. But no, we never went over 120.
Yeah,
Fine.
absolutely.
Never.
And you were telling me an anecdotal story about the horn on the bike.
Let me tell you.
Oh, good grief.
Let me tell you that it was. I've never heard a horn like that even on a car. It's loud, bro. I went around the corners and the photographer was on the corner, but it was blind corners, so I hooted every time I came around the corner. And when I stopped, everybody was off the bikes and standing around, and I said to the guys, listen, have you actually heard this horn? And I pressed the horn, and Mersha Janssen was there, and she jumped about this high. I cannot explain. It sounds like a ship.
Yeah, especially after we rode the GS. They
Yes.
went meep, meep. This thing is massive. It's actually one of the features on the list that you can actually specify this horn, but it's massive.
Yeah, no, it's
Makes
crazy.
a massive noise.
Okay, so Fani, we're running out of time here, but I need to find out from you what your favorite picture is of the
I don't know,
GS.
let Fritz decide. He can put up one favorite picture of us riding the GS. Yo, that was great. I cannot explain. Yeah, I'm
I
actually
can see the smile through the velvet. Sheesh.
All right, very quickly, pricing.
Pricing.
On the normal GS?
Yeah, on the normal GS, they start at 320 and they go up to about 350 for the special edition. On the Adventures, they start at 343 and they go up to 368 for the top of the range one, or that anniversary model. And on the RT, they start at 341 and they end up at about 350. But at least you get a set of panniers on there.
That's in the context of what we're seeing in terms of pricing on superbikes. That's pretty decent pricing.
It's all relevant, unfortunately. It's getting expensive now. Okay, so not only did we experience the BMWs, but not too long ago you treated me to an electric bike experience, Pete, and this was the same week that we did the Tesla that we did this review. Brian, thank you very much for that.
It was a pleasure. The guy delivered 2 of them, so I just had to invite someone.
All right, guys, let's get into this week's review, and this is proudly brought to you by the BB Motor Group. Hi guys, and welcome to Let's Talk Automotive. And this week I've obviously not had enough of electric vehicles because these are 2 electric motorcycles, and this is Brian Cheyne, and he's invited me to come on a test ride with what's these called, Brian?
These are the Enegricas. That is called the Ego, and this one is called the Eva.
All right, Brian, take me through what we have in front of us. What do these compare to, first of all? Is it like a 125 or is it a 1000 cc? What are we doing?
You're talking superbike category.
Okay.
In the MotoGP range at the moment, you've got MotoGP, you've got Moto2, Moto3, and then you've also got Moto E.
Okay.
And they race those motorcycles, and that is the road-going version of that motorcycle.
Really?
So it is not a commuter that you just go on the shops with, or that you do your like a delivery bike. This is
Proper superbike.
superbike performance in
Insane.
a very good-looking Italian package.
That was my next question. Where and who makes these?
These are
So Enegrica is the company.
Enegrica is the company. They're based in Italy. They've been involved in electric motors and this type of technology for Formula One for a while. And then in 2009, they started a series where they wanted to do race bikes with the electric bikes. But this is where we are at the moment. You've got these bikes. There are 3 models coming to South Africa.
Okay.
You got the Ego, and then you got this one. And then there's also a more retro version of this that doesn't have this modern headlights. It's got a round headlight.
Okay.
But yeah, this is what we have at the moment.
Okay, so range.
The all-important question.
There's 2 things that's important for me: range and charging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, these 2 models, unfortunately, are the homologation models.
All right.
They have a smaller battery than the production models.
All right.
Range on these things are really terrible. At the moment, I can do maybe 60 or 70 kilometers with it.
Okay.
And that means I can't even go to Harties for a nice breakfast run. My breakfast runs have got to be very short.
So basically to wimpy down the street.
That's it.
Okay.
And then when you get home, depending on your charge port, you can set the amps on the bike, and then on 15 amps it charges within 2 hours.
All right.
But the production version of these bikes, once they are homologated, will give you a range of about 180 kilometers.
Okay.
And then Enegrica have also published now on their website that a 15-minute charge from 0 to full
All right.
is imminent.
Okay.
So
well, that makes a lot of sense.
That does.
Okay. What I'd like to do, Brian, is actually just ask you to take me through these bikes quickly. I want to talk about the brakes, I want to talk about the suspension, and I want to talk about the instrument cluster, because that looks like my cell phone. It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, let's do that. Okay, Brian, I want to go through the bike as it is here in front of us. What I'm enjoying is that I'm seeing stuff that I recognize. It's not all new and different. I see brakes that I recognize, suspension. It looks like a normal bike. But obviously it's not.
It's not. It has got one massive battery. I mean, a quarter of the bike consists of battery.
All right.
Over here, you've got your drivetrain and your gearbox. It's only got 1 gear, and the gears, it's just as fast as the electric motor can spin up. I mean, that's 1 gear. It has got Öhlins suspension, and it's got Brembo discs at the front. And that's a big help, because this bike is, with that battery pack, fairly heavy. It's about 80 kilograms more than a normal sort of superbike.
Okay.
They come in at about 280. I think when you got on and you took the bike off the side stand, you felt it.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
felt the weight, and for that I'm happy that they have proper Brembo discs.
Agreed. Okay, so come take us through this the cell phone screen here in front of me.
Okay. On the dash, you have your current, you have your range, and you have your battery level.
Okay.
And then this dash can change. There, it has a lap counter. So
All
that
right.
if you do want to go to the racetrack, you have a lap counter. It's got another mode where it shows you your power output and where you throttled
I
off,
understand,
and
yes.
there you can see how much we accelerated and stopped and accelerated and stopped, because that's the fun part of the bike. And there we have just information about what's your current usage, where it tells you how much power you're using.
Yes.
So while you're riding, you can see all that. And there's the main dash over there.
Okay, so normal speedo there. Time, we've got that's temperature, normal ambient temperature, and there's your range on the battery power that you've got.
Okay.
And that's the
That range actually, it works out basically on the way you are riding, based on how much power you've got left.
Okay.
So if you are in urban riding where you start a lot, it regenerates power.
Okay.
And I've seen that range climb.
okay.
As you power off, it regenerates and puts power back into the battery. so that you can get an extended range if you stop, start.
Okay.
But
obviously that's not going to be the case when we on the open road.
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not. And then over here, you've got traction control, where you can set different levels of traction control. Level 1 and level 6 is the most intrusive. This bike also has Eco, Urban, Rain and Sport mode, so if you have range anxiety, then you can just put it on Eco mode and it'll behave itself.
Okay.
And then on the right hand side, you'll see the regeneration of the battery. That gives you engine braking.
Yes.
On normal bikes, if you close the throttle, the engine brakes the bike. Whereas this thing, you close the throttle, there's nothing because the engine just spins.
I understand.
Whereas that will give you more regenerative power so that you have that feeling of the bike doing engine braking, and at the same time it regenerates power to the battery.
Okay, Brian, you've explained a lot, you've talked a lot, but you're talking too much. I want to go for a ride.
Me too, boy.
Okay, let's gear up and go.
I'm in. So Fani, how was that?
Brian, my mind's actually blown. Yeah, it's very similar experience to the Tesla. Quiet, that instant acceleration and power. I'm speechless.
It's just insane. I haven't seen anybody get off one of these bikes without a smile like yours on his face.
I just want to keep on going, and like you said when we got off, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And the engine regeneration function. Actually, when we stopped at the robot, I said to you, "Look at this! Now my range is almost, 70."
Yeah.
And we started here at 50 or something like that. So
no, the range does.
So
climb.
it does help, but again, that's in town with a lot of start-stop riding.
But that's the fun part.
Yeah,
that is the type of riding that you want to do.
Okay, so I've got a question for you because we haven't spoken about this. Two things that comes to mind. Can I ride this bike with a normal license?
That is something that I still haven't found the answer to. I've actually spoken to Arnold Olivier from Tappet.
Yes.
And he said he was going to come back to me because I think they have to bring in some new form of legislation. Because if you have a 125cc license, I mean, this doesn't have a cc. So that's still a bit of a grey area.
And also something that we didn't speak about, or we mentioned that it's only got one gear. So there's no clutch, there's no gear, it's just a throttle. Twist and go. I'm excited about what I'm seeing.
Yeah, me too. That's the one thing. I mean, if this is the future of where we're going, I can't wait.
Sure.
I really can't wait. This is a lot of fun.
Brian, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you very much for the invite. I had a absolutely brilliant day with you on these bikes. Thanks to the manufacturers, Enegrica. And obviously, if you guys want more information, they can go to the website.
There is a website. Yeah, we'll put a link in the description or somewhere because I can't remember.
Awesome.
It's a funny thing. But we're not done yet. You're still going to take the bike home for me.
I'm glad to hear that. We'll catch you guys again on the next episode of Let's Talk Automotive. Cheers, guys. Now, let me tell you, that was an experience. Electric motorcycle, I never, ever thought that I would say that it was a good experience, but it was amazing.
Fani, I'm starting to get seriously concerned about you.
Yeah.
Electric car in 1 week and an electric bike.
Yeah.
I think you need to go for a urine flush.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a test, one of the two.
Okay. Joining us tonight, guests of the week, Heine and Diete Engelbrecht, and they are huge fans of the show, by the way. And ADA, so Africa Dream Adventures. Talk to us about that, Heine. Thank you very much for joining us.
First of all, thanks for carrying that up. I always thought it was Automotive Driving Academy.
Yeah.
That's what most people think.
No, the ADA comes from Africa Dream Adventures, like you said, Fon. He started as I did trips into Africa.
Yeah.
I had some dreams those days to do safaris, and we just kept the name.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
I've been now just everyone knows us ADA. I hate it when they call us ADA. You know? But ADA, like you said, Africa Driving Academy, Automotive, whatever the acronym stands for, but it stands for African Dream Adventure. It's a dream, it's an adventure, and it's Africa.
Agreed. Before we carry on, let's have a look at a short little video, and I think this will explain a bit more, and then we'll get back to you guys, right?
Yep, awesome.
ADA is proud to announce that our next training dates are just around the corner. We are elevated by our TITA accreditation, and we are on form as the only academy in South Africa with a tar range for motorcycle training, a dedicated K53 range, 4x4 adventure tracks, trails, and a gravel skid pan. From our 11-hectare flagship facility and a 700-hectare neighboring farm in the cradle of humankind, our tracks under the African sky equate to adrenaline therapy far removed from the city stress. We offer everything from vehicle and motorcycle launches, corporate events, and training. So whether you're a new beginner rider or you'd like to brush up on your off-road rider skills, and don't forget about the big bikes and our dual-purpose bike training on our gravel skid pan and trails with our DP and DP1 training courses. We even cater for on-road training with our tar range and dedicated K53 area. We are also now proud to announce another first by offering wheelie training in a safe and controlled environment. So no matter what your skill level or requirement, ADA has you covered. Call us now to book your spot. Sure. Adrenaline.
Yes.
All right, guys. So out of that video came a lot. I want to talk about you guys. First of all, just tell us a little bit about yourselves, your background, and then we can get to ADA and what you guys offer.
Oh, Dieter, you can start. You're younger than I am. I'm good, better looking than you. I
love it.
Well, of course, we're a family business. That's one of the main important parts that we believe in. It's a family business, and we've got a passion for what we do. We love, as long as it's got an engine and wheels, we work with it. Once it comes from bikes to trucks to cars, whatever it is, quad bikes, we just have a passion for the industry, and we just love getting dirty and interacting with people.
Okay, so there might be a little bit of a problem. Just hold that in your hand if you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay, so Heine, and yourself, your background?
Yes, it's very, very interesting. I was in the pharmaceutical industry for a while.
Wow!
And,
I did not see that. So I mean, we had a Cheyne as a surname just now, so a Cheyne gang.
Yeah.
And then associated quite closely with the motorcycle fraternity is obviously drug running.
and I think that's where his passion started for motorbikes. Because when the messenger was, off for the weekend.
Yes.
We'd have to deliver the medicine those days, it was flipping going around,
Yeah.
and I'd load them in the back of the bin.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
And go around delivering medicine all over the town. And so Dieter grew up on a motorbike.
Okay.
Awesome.
With a small little toddler, 2-3 years old, with a helmet on, and off we'd go. But and then we got involved in the 4x4 industry, and that grew into the kids growing up, 4 sons.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to ride motorbikes.
And they're all involved, eh?
Yeah. And then Brahman said, no, there's no way that these kids can ride motorbikes without being trained, and there was no training institution then.
Yes.
And I said, okay, let's see if there's a market.
Okay.
And that's basically how it started. We did 4x4 training, because everybody who rides a 4x4 is an instructor.
Yeah.
So we got into the motorcycle industry, but it actually started with the ATVs years ago. The ATV market was massive in 2005, 6, 7, 8. The kids driving big ATVs, the quads.
Yeah.
And then Honda saw the necessity for an academy, and they contacted us. And so we It started as the Honda Adventure Academy, the Honda ATV Academy.
Yes.
Yep.
And then it just grew
Awesome.
naturally.
And of course, beyond that academy, you also are training delivery riders.
Yeah,
on their
but
bikes.
before we get there, let's talk about your corporate events. You
Yes.
guys do. You guys obviously do cater for corporate events as well, and we've got some pictures of that. And we'll show that while we're talking about
Yes.
it. What do you guys offer for the corporates?
We don't do team building, Fonny.
Okay.
You know, because I don't want to blow up balloons and you know, I don't like you at the office if you've got to have friction control, you know. So we the corporate events,
Vehicle launches.
truck launches. Even, you know, at one stage we did golf carts, a launch for the golf cart. I think it was called the Ego or the Easy Go golf cart. Lawn mowers.
Wow.
As long as I had the engine and the trucks, 4x4s.
Yeah, because obviously, if we look at the facility, you guys have got a gravel skid pan,
Yes.
which is unique, and you guys have a tar range.
There's a KTM there.
The
as well.
KTM, the KTM launch that you guys did just now recently. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Fonny, let me get to the tar range. You know, we grew up, we love gravel and dust. You know, we call it diesel and dust events. And we, I think it was 2012, I saw the market going down with the sales of the off-road bikes and the adventure bikes. And I said to the family, listen, we got to build a tar range.
Yes.
And they thought, Dad's gone cuckoo's. And I said, guys, that's the way to go. There's the tar range there. And that actually made us diversify quite extensively.
Yes.
You know, because we do, like you said, we do trucks, we do cars, we do quad bikes, we do motorbikes, delivery bikes, super bikes. We don't do track days.
Yeah.
You know, heavy motorcycle training, you know, with the Harley Davidsons. So we diversified completely. And our instructors are also multidiscipline, multi-talented,
Yeah.
And obviously also accredited.
That's very important, Diete. You can share your experiences.
So that's one of the main important parts that we focus on. It is most of our instructors are TITA accredited, so we're accredited by the South African Transport Authority. And we've also been accredited through Harley Davidson. I was blessed with being the head instructor for Harley Davidson. Went over to the States, did a massive event there from 2012 to 2015. Got the privilege to go to Suzuka Circuit for Honda with competing in the International Instructors Competition, representing South Africa. So that's where we're really privileged, is that our instructors have really, we try and send them a lot for training and also diversify them. Instructors shouldn't just be focused on one discipline. That's the main thing, because it's important to see how certain people do stuff, and a lot of elements, if it's from a car, still the same on a motorbike. The technology we carry over a lot.
Yes,
and that's what's really important for us.
For sure.
Amazing.
Now, I want to ask you guys, I mean, from a team dynamic point of view, do you guys consider yourself boersens?
Yep.
Eh? I mean, I think there's actually a picture. Oh, look at that. Sure, looks like a...
That was actually last year with the P series, with the GWM of Albaki.
Yes.
And you know, we just thought, let's take a team photo and show you guys.
They wanted the Farmer Brown experience.
Well, they got it.
That's what they got.
I mean, how did the chickens turn out? Did they taste that good?
Okay, a new development, and one thing that I'm actually very proud of you guys, this new building and facility that you guys have put up there is simply amazing, and has taken this.
There it is there.
Yeah, there's the new building. This has taken it to the next level.
It has, Fonny. You know, it just, you know, sometimes you just get that feeling. It's now time to do something different.
Wow.
And we just took the step. We wanted to actually just build a small ablution block and a small kitchen.
And that's what ended up.
And it ended 520 squares later. And there was a massive, not team effort, but we had good building team, good electricians, and people just came to the party. And they all made some money, but nobody was, it wasn't like a big financial people ripping you off, you know, because it was hands-on. So we were very involved, and that's definitely changed the ADA. You know, like I said to you previously, we don't see ourselves as the leaders in the market. Because there are good oaks out there, but we're definitely not followers.
Yes.
You know, we want to up the bench because the cars are getting better, bikes are getting better. The motor industry is investing a lot of money in launches and events, you know, and I think we just got to assist it.
Sure. I mean, with that new facility, I was there, the last time I was at ADA was prior to that being built, so that's gone up quite quickly.
Yes.
But I mean, what can you host in that building now? Can you have conferences and that type of thing there?
Yeah, but like we said, people want to do weddings there. Definitely not. If the bride's got an engine and a key, we'll. But
we can all the space there.
Yeah, we we're doing a photo shoot tomorrow for a motor vehicle, and they're going to turn it into a studio for a photo shoot because we've got the facility to drive a truck and there, cars in there. That was the launch of the new 2020 Africa Twin. That was
Who's on the bikes there?
That's myself and my brother.
The brother's jumping higher though.
Yes, unfortunately. I'll get back to him.
Yes, Dieter, you have to go there.
He's younger, he had bigger goons,
No, so it's exciting times. The motor industry is changing.
Yeah.
People they want more smaller personal events.
Yes.
Not the big. I think the big events of well, they'll probably come again.
Yeah.
But COVID's changed the dynamics,
Correct.
and we've got to adjust.
Sure.
And we're at the start. We're well located.
Yeah.
We've got good instructors, good support, like from you guys.
You guys obviously we've got training this weekend again on the
Fully
5th.
sold. Thank you, Fonny. We've sold out
Fully
again.
sold out training this weekend. Here's Eva and Diane doing some briefings here with some of the guys. So from beginners, somebody that's never ever been on a bike before, and this is what happens.
I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry, mate, but this is quite an important part for me when it comes to sort of events and training, and that's the food, eh?
Yes.
And I mean, you can tell us what the
So let me tell you, these oaks have the best chicken pregos in the world that I've ever had, ever. Okay.
No, we believe the guys must eat
Yeah.
good. Have a good, decent meal, and it's not like that's your portion of meat and that's your, you must come for seconds. The coffee must have condensed milk in. So when they go, they must eat what they won't eat at home. But mommy doesn't want to give them sweet potatoes and coffee and condensed milk and flipping milk turkeys. So come and have fun at ADA. That's the whole idea. When you go back, you must feel good. So yes, this was a lucky experience.
Agree.
Now, talking about fun, one of the things that I am definitely going to do is come and have a try out on your wheelie machine. I mean, this is very cool for me because I was saying just now, I ride bikes, I ride super bikes. I'm not very good at it, and I fall off often. But the one thing I have not learned how to do is a wheelie.
Well, he's the wheelie man.
I've just fallen a lot. That's the only reason why I've gotten good at it. But no, this wheelie machine is definitely it's a game changer. It's something that we saw like a lot of potential in, and we got local guys to help us build it. And it's really something different compared to previous generations. Because the whole idea behind this wheelie machine is it's you and the machine. The wheelie machine only stops you basically from flipping it over, and it keeps your balance. But you're in control of the clutch, you're in control of the throttle, the whole balancing point. And the main thing is as well, we're focusing on slow speed control.
Yes.
Because that's where we believe is the big difference. Is where you can feel the difference that a throttle makes, the slight movement of the body makes.
Yeah. And understanding your center of gravity.
That's the main thing. And then as you get more comfortable, the wheels can start picking up the side wheels, so you can just start focusing on not flipping over, but the balancing is then controlled by you again.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing.
Because I've seen those wheelie machines that you're referring to, the ones that are on the trailers. I've seen them
the
at the track,
ones,
and it looks like absolute unmitigated chaos.
No, it's complete
the guys are all nervous.
No helmet.
And it's static as well,
Yep.
so you don't have that effect of what is my balance and what is the proper.
That's it. So you can start focusing on changing gears. What does the balancing affect when I go from first to second? So it's really you and the machine, the bike. It's nothing actually assisting you in picking the bike up easier or putting the bike down.
And it's safe. It's very safe.
Coming back to the facility, you guys have got an unbelievable 4x4 track as well on the
Premises.
on the premises, and here we've got some photos of that. So 4x4 training as well and experience. That's
Very
what you
much
guys.
so,
Yeah.
Now, Diete, they grow up in your laps, the boys. They want to drive cars and 4x4s, the whole, and everybody wants to have the experience of a 4x4. It's different.
Yes.
We're not the cooler box us, Captain Morgan, and the 2 liters of Coke. We don't do that. It's a training center.
Yes.
So we want the people to experience their vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay, you're paying 400-500. Well, I don't know what you're paying now. Probably $1 million for these things today. And they've got so much technology in. So that's the whole idea. If you look at that vehicle, their cross axle. I think that was the former P series with our khaki clothes on there. To understand the vehicle, to appreciate the vehicle. There's so much technology in these things, and so the track has been built. Not to damage the vehicle.
I know that bit. Isn't that's where Fritz got stuck in his 4x2 that he thought was a 4x4. But that was us actually in that JC. And I mean, one of the things I wanted to say and compliment you guys on is that, You know, there seems to be two extremes when it comes to off-road tracks. One is that it's just going to damage your vehicle.
Yes.
Or two, it's really not worth going on. It's too easy. What I found was that the tracks are very technical, so they force you to think ahead and have a craft in terms of 4x4, but you're not going to damage your vehicle.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what we try to focus on, is that even a beginner can come and he can learn and appreciate the technology of the vehicle and what the vehicle can allow him to do, or even the motorbike, without worrying about the damage getting to his expensive bike or 4x4 or truck, if we're doing a truck launch.
Okay. Last thing, guys, before we get to game time, because this is going to be very interesting, where can people get a hold of you guys?
Well, they can go to the easiest is the website.
Yeah.
You know, adasa.co.za.
All right.
I don't want to give my cell phone.
But they can go to our
They
Facebook
look
page,
at the Facebook page.
Facebook page as well, African ADA SA.
ADA, yes,
ADA.
training and outdoor center.
That's
Yes.
it.
All right. So easiest way to get hold of you guys. You guys do training normally once a month. The first
For
sort
open
of,
days, eh?
Yeah. So sort
public.
of the first weekend of the month
Exactly,
normally.
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And I
Awesome.
know what's nice thing as well, I can just put free advertising for Honda owners is for free.
Yeah.
If you buy a Honda
Very
motorbike,
important. Very
you come
important.
for free. No, because Honda supported us since 2005.
Yes.
They haven't
Amazing.
back once.
Yeah.
They've always supported us. You know, they're very,
Amazing.
very passionate about training.
Yeah.
All worldwide, Honda's
Yeah.
probably the leader in that industry.
Well, they're passionate about training. You guys are passionate about training. We can see it. It oozes through everything that you guys do. So well done. And we
Thank you.
certainly enjoy it every time we come there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great having you
So,
guys.
you know, from a viewer's point of view, we really would encourage you to go visit their website and book a course, especially if you're new to a motorbike.
Yes.
Definitely book a course,
Agree.
yeah.
Nice shirts that you guys are wearing. And by the way, this is the new range supplied by Let's Talk Automotive via
They're very
petrol,
comfortable, by the
via
way.
petrol clothing company. So they've got the Africa, what's this? Africa Twin.
Yes.
And then there's also GS and there's also KTM. Yeah. So if you guys are looking for shirts, please contact us on our Facebook shop.
And they iron very easily because I had to iron them last night. So
All right, guys, let's get into game time.
But before we do that, we've got to remind our viewers, please, this is critical for us. So on the YouTube channel, which we're trying to grow, it's very important for you guys to hit that like button as well as the bell to get reminders of when future episodes are coming up. So if you can support us on that, it'll help us to continue bringing the show to you guys.
Awesome. All right, guys, time for game time.
Let's go.
So tonight I thought I would change this up a little bit. So normally what I do is I show them a partial of a car or a bike. But tonight I decided that I'm going to show you guys just an instrument cluster.
Okay.
Okay.
of anything,
No, of a bike.
of a bike.
Oh, so I've lost already.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to show you an instrument cluster of a motorcycle. If you recognize it, please shout your name and I'll come to you and then I'll award you guys all the points. All right, are you guys ready? You guys at home can also play along if you want to. Just pop your answers into the comments below the video. All right, guys, happy?
No,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ready, here's the first one.
I think I know that one.
Aditya, what's that?
I think that's a BMW.
Yes.
GS.
Absolutely correct. That's the
Year model,
12.
I don't know. But
That's the 2021
there we go.
GS 1250. Amazing. Well done, Dieter. Interesting, eh? But now it's going to get interesting. Now I want to see. And don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm not worried. I know I'm going to lose.
All right, guys, you at home? Yeah, Nadia even got that right. BMW. Even Nadia got
But
that
you
right.
have one. That's a bit of a...
I don't have that one. Okay, guys, here comes the second one.
That's one easy
Can
to
you
see.
read?
Ducati.
Can you read?
Yeah. Ducati. That's easy.
Okay, Hein says that's a Ducati, and do you know which one, Hein?
It's the Ducati Connect.
I know it's a fast one. Ducati don't build
I will go
fast.
multi-strada. That's
Multi-strada.
easy. You can read it, so it's standing.
Yes, that's the V4, multi-strada.
Oh, gee whiz.
I was in the Ducati shop last weekend, and I tell you, that bike is actually surprisingly big.
It's a beautiful shop.
It's a beautiful
Compliments
shop.
to those
Yeah.
Ducati guys. Eh?
Beautiful shop.
Beautiful shop.
Okay, so it's 2-0 to Team ADA at the moment. I'm liking where this is going. Are you guys ready? You guys at home? Diego Fernandez says, love the haircut, bud. Looking well. Thanks, man. I appreciate you complimenting me on my haircut. I appreciate that.
We're not worried about drones anymore.
We're playing a game here now. Diego must guess the bike here. All right. Here comes the third one.
Peter.
That one easily as well.
I said Peter first.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm
And
going to
it's
come
a
to you.
KTM.
Okay, I'm going to give you half a point. What KTM?
The orange one.
That's just Duke.
Just
1290.
1290.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
know
give you a
which one?
point.
There we go.
Oh,
Super
Super
Adventure.
The Super Adventure. Yo, that bike is crazy, eh?
That we just launched
Yeah,
recently.
we launched that beautiful bike.
But it's super aggressive, eh?
it's-
Aggressive
no.
looking, aggressive riding.
It's stunning. It's
Yeah.
really something else.
Awesome.
Climbing on the 1290.
Okay, so 2-1. ADA still in the
Well
lead.
done,
Here
Peter.
comes the fourth one.
Ooh, I think I know that one as well.
Dieter?
I would say it's a Honda. I would go for a Honda and probably a NC.
Can tell you that you're wrong.
Okay.
Oh, well, if it's not a Honda, Peter, I'm going to say Suzuki.
I wanted to say, yep.
You're Pete?
V-Strom.
Yes. Are you reading my notes, Pete?
No, I'm not. I swear I'm not. It's
Well
just that
done.
We had that discussion on the bike last week.
Yes.
Around the location of the oil
Oil
filter.
filter,
Yeah.
But it's never damaged.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm in a
Two,
pickle.
okay.
I'm in a pickle because we tied up at 2 each.
Who knew?
Okay, so unfortunately, Peter, you will definitely not get the next one right. Here comes number 5.
Yeah, that's a Honda.
That's the one we know well.
That's one you guys know.
African
that's
Twins
African Twin,
1100.
That's the Africa Twin. Just
Beautiful,
look,
eh?
that
Wow,
is
look at
that
that.
is one seriously beautiful bike.
That's a beautiful photo as well.
Is
Any
this
bike there would look great. in
is
that
this a
background.
DCT or is this a manual, guys?
That would be a DCT if you look at the right hand bottom end.
Okay.
You see the cluster sticking out.
Okay, beautiful.
What is a DCT like on a bike?
Yes.
It's a game changer, especially nowadays. The first gens that came out, they had problems, but now they've really become so incredibly easy to drive, similar to an automatic 4x4.
Yeah.
You know, when they just came out, everyone's like, stay away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nowadays, you want an automatic 4x4.
Yes.
Agreed.
And it's the same with that DCT.
Yeah.
It's a
So
game
Peter,
changer.
stop changing the subject. It's 3-2 at the moment. And Peter, I'm going to be very disappointed.
nasty.
I'm
He's
going to
nasty,
be
this guy.
very disappointed if you get the next one wrong.
I'm just
Yeah,
going to shout
here's-
it right now
here's
before
number-
it comes
here's
up. I'm
number
going to say
6.
Kawasaki.
Here's
just
number
before
6.
it comes up. Peter, Kawasaki.
No,
Yo.
I think I know, but
it's older. It's older.
I don't know,
Okay,
maybe I'm not that old for that bike.
you can try.
I would go for a Honda,
Yeah.
and I would say it's a bike that I think I loved when I started growing up, and that's a CBR 600. maybe.
Yo, that is
You know what's actually,
super.
you know what's actually shocking? Is that that's my bike.
And that's
How pathetic can one individual be? That's
today.
That's my no.
that's
my
his
dream
bike. That's his current bike.
You didn't know.
He didn't know.
But it shows you, he's not focusing on the cluster, he's
Yes,
focusing
he's
on the
focusing
road.
on the
Exactly.
Well done, Peter.
Wow. That's
Okay, so game over. Game over 4-2, but 1 to redeem yourself. You can still try.
Okay.
And I threw this one in because this has got a very nostalgic sort of thing for me.
Okay.
Here comes the last one, guys.
Yo,
Oh,
that's a scooter.
that fits to our Farmer Brown outfits
Yes.
that we had earlier.
Yes.
And I would say it's probably a 125cc if I'm looking at
Yes.
the top speed there. That's a 125, and probably a Japanese bike, so let's go for Suzuki or Kawasaki.
No.
Yamaha.
No.
Peter, Yamaha.
So because it was the only one left.
Yeah.
This is the Yamaha DT125.
Lovely.
All right, so Team ADA 4-3. Well done. Thank you very much for joining us.
very
It was amazing having you guys on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you
It was
so
great,
much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Loved
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so now we're getting into the next segment, and this is How Things Work, and this is proudly brought to you by Suzuki Auto South Africa, and tonight we are looking at drag.
Welcome to our latest segment on how things work, and in today's episode we are talking wings, spoilers, downforce and drag. In the world of aerodynamics, there are two basic forces at play on a vehicle: drag and lift. We know that drag is the force that works against the motion of a car, while lift is the force that works on the car itself. Now, lift is either positive and trying to pick up the vehicle, or negative and creating downforce. Air itself behaves exactly the same way as a fluid, and in fact is governed by the scientific laws of fluid dynamics. As a result, when we move an object through the air, especially at speed, we encounter the frictional forces that the air exacts on the surfaces, which causes drag. And drag is one of the most important issues designers consider, not only when profiling the shape of the car, but also in determining what size engines to use to overcome the frictional forces at high speed. This is because frictional forces increase with the velocity squared, or exponentially to put it in another way, and are also a function of the frontal area of the vehicle. This means that if we want to go faster, we have to do two things. We have to make our car as slippery as possible, that is, have a low drag coefficient, and we have to increase our engine power dramatically. To give you an example, a car that requires 30 kilowatts to travel at 80 kilometers an hour would now require 120 kilowatts to drive at 160 kilometers an hour. That's 4 times the power simply to double the speed. We've all heard the term drag coefficient, and the marketing people sure like to quote their car's drag coefficient figures. But how do we make sense of these figures to determine if they're good or bad? Well, factoring issues like surface roughness and speed, we can generally say that a brick-shaped object has a drag coefficient of 1, while a teardrop shape, which incidentally is the most aerodynamically efficient shape, has a coefficient of only 0.05. Most modern cars have a drag coefficient of between 0.25 and 0.35, with SUVs being a little higher because they obviously have a larger frontal surface area. Now, talking of front-facing surface areas, this is calculated by summing all the surfaces viewed from the front, which means that a Formula 1 car, in fact, has a drag coefficient of between 0.7 and 1, which is the same as a bus. In fact, a Formula 1 car develops so much drag that just by lifting off the throttle at over 200 kilometers an hour creates over 1 G of slowing down force, which is the same as if we slammed on our brakes in a road car. This brings us to our next topic of downforce. The faster the car goes, the more the airflow tries to lift it up due to its shape. Also, if we want to have more grip in the corners, we need to create downforce. What creates downforce, or lift for that matter, is a difference in pressure between the top and the bottom of the car, which is eloquently described by Bernoulli's equation. In basic terms, a fast-moving fluid or air has less pressure than a slow-moving fluid. So, a front or rear wing on a car produces downforce because the airflow moves more quickly across the bottom of the wing than it does over the top. This is achieved by making the wing an aerofoil shape, which forces the airflow to either follow a shorter or a longer path over the shape, which then creates the pressure differential because the airflow traveling the longer distance must speed up. So what about a spoiler? Well, as you guess, a spoiler is not a wing and has a very different aerodynamic function. In fact, a spoiler does exactly what the name suggests. It spoils or obstructs the airflow at a localized position of the car. And the reason why we want to do this is due to the airflow that typically occurs over and under a traditionally shaped car, which has some likeness to a wing. The airflow over the car has to travel faster than under the car, and as a result, a low pressure zone is created, particularly at the rear, which then tries to lift up the car. The spoiler slows down the airflow at this point, which negates the low pressure effect and in turn zeroes the lifting force. And it also aids the stability of the car at high speed. So wings and spoilers are just two aerodynamic aids that assist us with the downforce and drag we experience. But there are so many other aerodynamic aids to discuss, such as splitters, air dams, canards, undertrays, side skirts, vortex generators, and diffusers. Now, we don't have time in this segment to discuss them, but the good news is that this means you have so much to look forward to in future episodes. So thanks for watching our introduction into aerodynamics, and we look forward to sharing more topics with you on how things work.
Yes. So, Professor Viljoen, I can only describe that as oral magic.
Thank you very much. But
That was
talking about
amazing.
oral magic, Nadia, your comment here has just actually convinced me as to why I'll never buy an electric motorbike, or an electric bike for that matter. Which Nadia says, so there was massive audio interference from the bike's massive battery while shooting the review. Makes me wonder if it would be good for your groin health. Maybe electric bikes are made for people who are done with having kids. That is a top comment. Well done.
Yeah, so, luckily we're done with kids. All right, Pete, so this brings us to our last segment, and tonight I've got a goodie for you, and sticking to the bike theme.
Yeah?
Do you think bikes can swim?
No.
Okay, so let's have a look at this guy trying his best to find out. This is Tappet of the Week. So a guy without a shirt on a, looks like a Honda, probably a CB, what is that? It looks like a CB something, trying to do a wheelie next to a swimming pool. And he's put, let's
Yeah, he deserved that.
Go get your bike, mate.
Hope
let's
the water
let's
was
have a
cold.
look at this. Where was this going to go anyway?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the first mistake was he was trying to be a pretty boy with his shirt off. So he kind of deserves, I hope that was his bike.
And his mate's just putting him in the drink with his bike.
But I can tell you a true story. We had at one of the German manufacturers, we had a customer come in and complain about the wiring on their car.
Yeah.
Turns out that they had dropped their vehicle while 4x4ing completely underwater, and it was the towing truck operator who informed us.
Oh, yeah?
So it was below the water, down below the roof level, and he was complaining bitterly about his wiring issues.
So will this bike go again? Would you be able to get that
You
bike
could get it
going?
going, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, no problem. You flush out the engine,
Oh?
yeah, and
Electrics?
electrics let them dry out. You might have cooked a few processes along the way, but yeah, you could get it going.
Okay. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Thank you very much for joining us. I have to throw forward in a couple of minutes' time on raceday.tv, you will be able to see Sasha Martininga and the F1 pit box. Remember that it's F1 weekend, so you'll be sleeping again.
Yes,
Sunday
yeah, I'll be
afternoon.
recording it.
But it's going to be interesting. I'm
I
telling
hope
you
so,
now.
because then I'll watch it.
Yeah, and our producer said that I neglected our viewers tonight, so thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Please remember to like, share, subscribe on YouTube, and go crazy. That's basically it from me. Yeah.
We look forward to seeing everybody next week, and until then, keep safe.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.